Prince, why are you naked? Are you crazy? Get your harness. Go get your harness. He loves walks. Okay. Come on. Got it! Woohoo! So I took Prince for a walk. Now he's gonna cool down. That's a good dog. You're not supposed to drink the water though. It's tricky to be tall and film because the shot is wide, but I'm tall. So if I were like this, then it would be perfect, but since I'm like this, you can never get the whole shot. You gotta screw around with the camera more often. Since I have tall boy problems, sitting in this chair and looking down at this screen isn't really working for me. This monitor actually has a couple mounts for like a wall mount, so I'd like to make one. I want to put it up here, and I want to put a hinge onto it, just in case I have to show my friends something on the computer, I can tilt it towards them.
Machines getting escorted around the store.
That's right. I think it would have been easier just to bring in the whole monitor.
You think so?
I think so.
Where's that on this button?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Tip it sideways.
Yeah, tip it sideways and see if that'll do it.
Later.
Well, that was a pain in the butt. We actually used some of the stuff we learned in school. I've been out of school for too long though, so I couldn't remember it. But luckily Jake remembered the Pythagorean theorem. I can't even say it right. I'm lucky to be surrounded though by such helpful and giving people. Jake and Cody helped me out at Value, and then Jake's grandmother stopped by and gave us all these chicken dinners. We have 5 chicken dinners, and I'm the only one home right now. Let's just say I'm gonna eat pretty well today. These chicken dinners usually help out the local fire departments, and they're lucky to have people like Carol. Thank you, Carol. Lunch was awesome. Now it's time to go back to work. My plan is to take this hinge, weld that onto the bracket I just made. Of course, take the bracket off the computer, otherwise I'll melt my monitor. Put that on there, and then put this hinge here. That way I'm not always looking down at a screen, I can look at eye level. I don't actually care to have it up too high. I'm thinking right about here, only a few inches higher than it is. That way it gives a little bit more real estate on the desk as well. We're gonna go 16. Lucky 16. Let's have a little prayer. God, please allow there to be a stud right here. No stud. I don't know if that's going to be enough to hold the computer monitor or not. We did math, and we figured that a stud would be right there. Maybe I'm just a hair off. Welcome to Screwing Up Your Walls with 3D Machines. I'm your co-host. It's not a stud either. There's not a stud to be found in that area. I found a stud! Woohoo!
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
That's how it's gonna get welded. This is getting ridiculous. Looks good. The best thing is I have to take it back off the wall to put in my last screw. This is how the wall mount turned out. I had to change up my original setup a little bit because it wasn't far enough away from the wall for the hinge to work. But after finding a spare lawnmower part just sitting around, I welded that to it. It's got that industrial look to it. Everybody's been so concerned about this massive beehive. No, there aren't any bees in it. I'm not, there's bees. No, we found that in the woods. It was abandoned over the winter, so we took it out of the tree. But it really makes the place feel like home. Well, you guys, we got a new part for the build, and I'm gonna come out and say it. I'm building a motorized ripstick. This broken skateboard is actually gonna act as the front half, so I'm going to go ahead and remove these trucks. I was trying to do my first ever ollie and I broke the board, so then Jake said I could have it. So good thing I did that. This workbench is a mess. I just cleaned it yesterday. I found this scrap piece of steel. The trucks are actually made out of aluminum. Aluminum you can weld, I just don't have the machinery to weld it, so I gotta go to steel. I'm gonna trace a new little bracket here and use the steel one. The ripsticks use something similar to this. I have 3 nuts right there. I'm going to weld them to this plate at an angle, and that way it'll swing back and forth just like a ripstick. First thing we have to do, prep the material, and prep my nuts. After doing that with a grinder, my nuts are warm, and these ones are shiny. Now for the really hot part. I hope there aren't too many engineering flaws with this ripstick. This is what it looks like, but I think what I have to do is cut this on each side and then bring this wheel further back, because when I ride it, it just throws me right off. It's getting late, so I want to conclude this video. I did a couple tests, and I've noticed that I must have had this shaft too hot. Composition of this metal kind of deteriorated, so that bent. I also cut this to try to modify the angle and stuff, and then I realized that this wheel doesn't even have a bearing in it, so what good is that? That's gonna hold us back. So I think I'm gonna cheat. I think I'm gonna tear this apart, and then if I feel like putting it back together when I'm done, then I'll put it back together. But I've had my fair use out of this. I think I got this for Christmas about 8 years ago. This thing's getting tired anyways. Look at the bearings, they're all dirty. The tires are flat. I feel bad for this thing. Now I'm going to touch it.